Welcome to Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am your host, Bob Benham, and here we are with another episode of my wonderful podcast. And thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Uh, Lots of stuff as usual going on in the world as we have a terror attack on our soil in Boulder, Colorado, with that insane moron terrorist uh, using homemade flamethrowers and Molotov cocktails on that pro-Jewish and pro-Israel rally in Boulder, Colorado, and injuring several people. The last count that I had read was 8. They have filed murder charges. I have not read where anybody has been killed. I'm sure there's an update coming about that someplace, somewhere down the line. I'm not sure when or where that's taking place. I have not read about it yet. So I can't really state for sure. That's just speculation at this point. But I did read where this wonderful terrorist was allowed into the United States as an illegal alien under our former libtard President Biden, the wonderful senile man that should have never been in the Oval Office to begin with. So we can all grit our teeth and be angry about that. I can't state enough the evilness of him and the Democrats and liberals in this country. They are evil, period. End of story. For them to do what they did to our nation in trying to drag it down to a third world status, they have been somewhat successful with it. If you just kind of look around how bad things are in the different areas of our country. I mean, all you got to do is drive around and look. It's a mess. It really is a mess here. And it is very, very sad that we have come to that point. And it's just something I never expected to see in my lifetime. And it's sad. It really is sad. But lots to talk about as usual. One of the things that really is bothering me, and it's, I mean, President Trump is doing a wonderful job, and with what he's got to work with, and he doesn't have a whole lot to work with because everybody's working against him. You got Congress working against him. You got the judiciary working against him. I mean, every time he turns around, they're ruling against him. They're trying to shut down everything he's trying to do. And the judiciary they're supposed to be ruling based on the Constitution, what's constitutional and what's not. And they're going against the Constitution every time. And I'm sorry, that's treasonous. That's all I can say. When you go against the Constitution and you do it openly, as they are doing, that's treason. Um, Especially when you are allowing uh, and ruling in favor of illegal aliens, people that aren't even supposed to be here, and allowing them to stay uh, and say, oh, well, they need due process before they can leave. No, they don't. No, they came here without due process by just coming across the border or just some BS app that the Biden administration had come up with without being vetted. They just punched in whatever they wanted to in the app, and they're here. No, there's no due process for them on the way out. On the way out, because they're here illegally. They're not United States citizens. They're not entitled to due process. United States citizens are. They are not. The Constitution does not apply to them because they're not United States citizens. They are not beholden to this nation. All you have to do is when you go to one of these where their rallies where they're running their mouths about how they their rights and everything else. Whose flags are they holding? They're not holding American flags. They're holding Mexican flags, Ecuadorian flags, um, Guatemalan flags, El Salvadoran flags, whoever's. They're not holding American flags. That's because they're beholden to their prior nation. They don't care about the United States. They're bringing their crap here and expecting us to change our life and our culture to be like theirs instead of them assimilating to what we have here. And that's not right. That's not how things were set up for. You come to the United States, you assimilate to what's here in the United States. Period. You come here, you speak English. You come here, you abide by our Constitution. You abide by our laws. You don't come here and try to set up your Sharia law. You don't come here and try to set up make your religion or whatever you want as your uh, um, lifestyle and shove it down our throats. No, that's not how it works. You want to live like that, you do it in your within your privacy. But you don't make it ours. Period. We don't care. This is the United States of America. Yes, we are a melting pot of people and different cultures. And we have existed as that for a very long time. And it's because people came here and assimilated to what our culture is, which is everybody gets along and nobody forces one again into to somebody else. We all get along. What we do behind closed doors in our own home is our own business. But once we go outside, it's about taking care of each other. And it doesn't matter what your religion is, what your politics are, or anything else. It's about taking care of each other. That's what this country was founded on. And we are so far from that because everything today is about identity politics. When you look at what the Democrats and the liberals are about, they are the most racist, most hypocritical people I have ever met. They are divisive, hateful, and all they care about is themselves. They don't care about you, they don't care about me, and they want power, pure and simple. They are all about power. And they will do anything to get it. And I do mean anything to get it and maintain it. They will break any law, any rule, and they will hope they don't get caught. And even if they do get caught, it doesn't matter because the wonderful Republicans in this country are so scared to hold them accountable. They don't even know what to do to hold the Democrats accountable because they're afraid of being called a racist and all this other stuff. The hell with that. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Hello. It's time to get back to that. There's absolutely no reason in the world that we should allow these idiots to do what they're doing and get away with it. No reason. They need to be held accountable. They're always, oh, no one is above the law. No one is above the law. But when one of them is held accountable and is arrested, well, no, it was just a little minor thing, blah, 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 blah. Mm, sorry. They need to go to jail just like you threw so and so in jail from the other side. When you look at the war on the police, these prosecutors in these big cities that are libtards and Democrat, oh, they want that piece of police butt plastered on their office wall. That's all they have. That's all they want. I mean, it is unbelievable how they are just so how hard they are working to try to just nail an officer for for something big so they can have that on their resume. And that is just disgusting. And now they want to get rid of this qualified immunity in these states. And that is the most stupid thing they can do. Because the thing of it is, they're not only getting rid of it for police, but by doing what they're doing, they're getting rid of it for the whole government, the whole state, local government. So that means any lawmaker, city councilman, mayor, whoever, governor, lieutenant governor, state senator, they can all be sued. All of them. Personally. And lose their homes, lose their life, everything to these morons out here with these frivolous lawsuits that claim they did whatever wrong. And I'm here to tell you right now, if I were a police officer and they ended qualified immunity, if I had my time in, I would have my letter of retirement in the day it passed. I'd be like, no, I'm out of here. Because I am not risking anything of mine that I worked so hard for to lose it to some scumbag idiot out there. Just because I wrote them a traffic ticket they didn't like. That's ridiculous. And that's what they're opening themselves up to. How stupid can you be? And it's not like there isn't protections in place for people who are victims of wrongdoing by police officers, because there is still, you can still sue a police officer for violating your constitutional rights. And that officer will be held accountable. It's not like he won't be. Qualified immunity does not prevent that from happening. We're talking traffic accidents, things like that, on qualified immunity. What is the problem? I mean, people are just, they have been groomed to hate police officers so badly that it is just, it's an epidemic, and I don't think this thing's going to ever end. I know there's a lot of people that back officers. I know it. I see plenty of cars and plenty of people that wear hats and stuff that have the thin blue line stuff and the stickers on their cars and stuff like that. And trust me, the officers that work see it too, and they appreciate it, because that thin blue line is razor thin compared to the population of the United States versus how many officers there are. It is razor thin. So we have to support them. We have to. And otherwise, it would be just total. It would be a mess. It would be a mess. And that's why I mean, it's just why I have being retired and everything. I will, if I, let's put it this way, when I'm out and about, when I see an officer have a car stopped, or I see them outside with a situation or something like that, I always, always kind of slow down and look to see if something, to make sure things look okay. And being a former police officer, there's, you know, when things are okay and when things are not. It's there's just, you just know. And so I always look, and if something doesn't feel right, set right, I will do a U-turn and go back and check again, or just do a U-turn, find a parking lot, find some place to stop, and just sit and watch from a distance, just to make sure things don't go haywire. And that's just how I am. Yeah, I'm retired. Yeah, I'm disabled. But I will get involved if things go bad. I will. That's just how I am. I will not let a fellow officer get hurt or killed because I didn't do anything. That's just not going to happen. And that's just the way I am. Once you become a police officer, you're always a police officer. You retire, yes. You go out on disability retirement, yes. But you're retired. You're not. That's it. You're retired. But you still carry that badge. You still carry an ID card. Both of them say retired on it, but you still carry them. And so that you still carry that responsibility. And so with that, I will exercise that responsibility if the need arises. That's just how I'm wired. So, and that's just because the thin blue line is so thin, and I can't let an officer um, get hurt, be killed, or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. Not with me there. So that's they hold a special place in my heart. After I did the job for as long as I did, and after having seen what I saw, um, all that, I mean, that stuff sticks with you. And, you know, it's part of life. And fortunately, uh, the regular citizen doesn't have to see that stuff. And they're fortunate. Um, so good for them, bad for us. But we find a way to get through it. We find a way to deal with it, and we move on. And we let God take care of us. We pray to God to get us through the days. And that's the truth. So, back to what we need from our government and from our leaders in this country. And I really believe we do need to see some kind of big wins from President Trump and his administration. We're just not seeing that kind of thing to the point where those of us that voted for him can say, yeah, all right, the ball's rolling. And, you know, we can kind of stick our chests out a little bit and say, hey, this is why we voted for him. We did. It was kind of nice when he announced that, you know, the JFK files, the RFK files, the MLK files, all, you know, the Epstein files, all those kind of things were going to be released. The bad part is, where are they? I ain't seen anything. And of the stuff that's been released, nothing new. So where's the win? There isn't one. We need names, places, dates, times, what happened, who was there, what organization was involved, why. None of that's been divulged, and that is not good. And that's what we were expecting, and that's what needs to be released. Nothing should be redacted. Absolutely nothing. It's been long enough. You're talking 60 plus years with the JFK assassination, RFK assassination, or the MLK assassination. You know, it's been recent with the Epstein deal. You know, they can say all they want that, oh, yeah, it was a suicide. I do not believe that one for a minute. too many questions, way too many questions, um, and no answers for them. That's when you're a police officer and you can't have answers to questions, um, and they're basic questions. Then it just doesn't it don't add up, and you go, mm-mm. I know Cash Patel and Dan Bongino came out and said, "Oh yeah, we read the entire file, and yeah, it was a suicide." I'm sorry, guys. Um, it's still you still got the general public saying, "Too many questions, guys." Um, And now you got Pam Bondi saying, "Oh, well, we're reviewing all these videotapes and with the children and blah, 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 blah." We don't care about the videotapes. We don't care. We're not going to watch the videotapes. I know I'm not. I want the transcripts of the interviews. I want names, people, dates, places, who was involved, who did what, and who was going back and forth, and who paid for all this to happen. And why in the world was no one brought up on charges? That makes zero sense to me. Nobody was brought up on charges. The only ones brought up on charges were Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Nobody else? Nobody that went and did the activities themselves? How can that be? It's not making sense, people. Why are we protecting these idiots? We had this, the same thing happened when I was a police officer. We had people higher ups in Columbus that were involved in stuff. There was a Rolodex of people that disappeared that had names and addresses and stuff and all that of people that were involved with prostitution and this and that and the other disappeared. And the thing of it is, we know who has the Rolodex, but nobody will do anything about it. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Quit protecting these idiots. Who cares if they got all this money? They're doing wrong. You would throw me in jail in a nanosecond if I were to do stuff like that. You wouldn't even think twice. But these guys, just because they have some cash and have a lot of cash, you're going to sit there and go, "Oh, what? Mm-hmm. No, we're just not going to do nothing." That's crazy. That makes me so mad. I remember I had a case when I was on the department. I ended up, there was a crash involving a drunk driver. And the drunk driver happened to be the daughter of the owner of the Columbus Dispatch. Wonderful, right? That's the newspaper, or the rag, we called it. And it was, I knew this was going to be a big cluster. And she did basically hit skip. She hit these cars and kept on driving. She was drunk. I caught up with her, stopped her, arrested her, and took her down for processing to headquarters. And I had, she refused to do this BAC machine. And I did everything by the book. And of course, a retired police captain showed up. Oh, is there any way we can make this go away? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, sir, it ain't going away. She hit 3 parked cars. I don't think those people are going to be real happy if this goes away. And I just knew that if I had just followed protocol, which was to just drop the tickets and my arrest report in the file to be taken, that there was a person that would take it over to the court later that day to be filed with the clerk of courts and have case numbers assigned. I knew if I had just dropped it in that file, that would disappear. And I was like, okay, I'm taking this over to the clerk of court's office. As soon as I'm done and everybody's gone, I'm taking it right over there and I'm getting a case number assigned so it can be tracked. So I did. I took it over there. I said, I need a case number assigned to this, please, and all that. And I took it in, had that done, got my case number assigned, got my copy of it. And that way I could track it, make sure as it made its process through the courts, I could look forward to my subpoena. And it never made it to arraignment. That case disappeared. The case number, everything, gone. Like it never happened. And from that date on, anything that was that involves somebody of any kind of importance, I made copies of it all. Because once even taking it down to the clerk of courts like that, and for it to just vanish, the case number, everything just vanish. That made me so angry because I didn't keep a copy of everything. I figured, okay, it's going to be in the system. It's good. I already got the case numbers assigned. It'll be in there permanently, and it was gone. So from then on, I just kept copies of everything. And they did not like that Oh, they did not like that. But when I went down there, I'd say, "Hey, whatever happened to this case? I got the case number, and it's on my copies, and where's?" And they're like, oh yeah, I love doing that. Um, and it was, hey, you know, uh, you just had to protect yourself because I mean, that literally would open me up to lawsuits because I didn't have copies of it. The case number is gone, it's disappeared. Who she could come back and say, "Hey, I did this all for no reason, and I didn't have a leg to stand on, not one leg, because I had nothing to back up what I did." So, hard lesson learned. Hard lesson learned. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy that we're not getting these files with people's names, dates, times, stuff like that. I mean, there's just no reason why we're not getting that stuff. Um, I- there's just why aren't we? I mean, there's just no transparency, and that was something that was promised to us. I mean, okay, yeah, they're on the stuff that's kind of current. What they're doing now, they're being somewhat transparent about what they're doing now, and I give them kudos for that. But we need the transparency to be across the board, no matter what it is. If it's old, new, I mean, just bring it out in the open. I mean, just say, okay, here's what's going on, and lay it out there, no matter what. Just let it go because there is so much that's been going on, and there it's like this big beautiful bill thing. I do not like anything that's big, beautiful, or the beautiful part. I don't agree with that at all. But there's no reason to have a big bill. None. All this stuff should be run through in small segments. So that way there's no, well, we got a 10,000 page bill here and nobody's going to read it. And we just got, it's, we got to pass it to see what's in it. As Nancy Pelosi said, no, we don't need that stuff. It should be short, it should be easy to read, and it should be just right on point. And it should be so everybody could look at it and go, okay, I understand that, pass it or not. They have this everyone in Congress has this, oh, we got to do this huge reform bill. It's got to be just, we got to totally reform everything. It's got to be in a 2,000 page bill. No, it doesn't. It does not have to be in a 2,000 page bill. It's just insane. Oh man, sorry about that. I don't know why this happened. But it's it's something that it's because, and I know why it is. It actually do know why they do it. It's because they sneak so much garbage into these bills, and I do mean garbage. that they don't want us to know about because they know nobody's going to read it. They know nobody's going to read it. And they make it to the point where nobody has time to read it before it gets passed. So that way there's no debate on it. There's no discussion about it. There's no way to know what's in it beforehand. So it's already passed, and then you go, "Ooh, no, we don't need that." And that's why we have the issues we have. But we definitely need to have this. It doesn't need to be these big bills. No. It needs to be done issue by issue with a single issue. That's it. Okay, we're going to be dealing with this, and this is what the bill's about, and it goes through. Not adding any amendments to it about whatever. If we're going to deal with medical, issues here, we're going to do a bill about medical billing, and making sure that everybody's bill is proper and blah blah blah. Talk about the medical bill. Say, okay, yes, it's got to be itemized, and it's got to be. You can't be going crazy with the charges, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, that's that. And you better not be adding an amendment that has to deal with adding mileage to a car. Oh, well, the cars now have to have 35 miles per gallon. No. And that's what they do. That's what they do. They add junk that has absolutely nothing to do with that bill, but they add it in. Because somebody says, well, I'm not going to vote for that bill unless you add this. No. Either you vote for it or you do not vote for it. You either vote yes or you vote no. That's how it works. If you don't get enough votes for the bill, then you go back and write it again until you get enough votes for it. Our government is lost. It's not operating as it was intended. And it's been lost for a long time. It's just, I don't understand. It makes absolutely no sense. And one last thing that just drives me nuts right now, it's driving me crazy right now, and it's been going on for oh, God, many years. And it's something that's very serious. And that's where our foreign governments and foreign agents come into our country and are purchasing large tracts of land, and also purchasing homes, foreclosed homes, buildings, foreclosed buildings in like downtowns, of large cities, just buildings in general in areas where, I mean, they're just looking for foreclosures just because it's cheap. They can get it, then they can do whatever they want with it, and they own it. I mean, uh, so then we're paying Chinese or whoever the government is, and it's usually not a good government. Uh, we're paying them to use that building, or they're buying large land tracts, uh, and some of them are using it for farming. I know of several in the deserts of Arizona where they're buying these large tracts of land and they're using it for dairy farms. They're growing food to send back to Saudi Arabia because they have no water in Saudi Arabia. They've used all their water up in the ground, their ground table, because they just wasted it basically. So now they're going to use ours up, uh, and our government is stupid enough to let them. And I when I lived out there for a while and was watching this happen, I it was making me so mad that this county government was just allowing the Saudis to just drill all these wells for water, and we couldn't. A person that bought 10 acres was not allowed to drill for water. They had to have the water shipped into their place and put into a tank. It made no sense to me. It, I just, it was just mind boggling that they were going to allow the Saudis to just do whatever they wanted, but the people, a United States citizen, couldn't drill a well for water. Um, it is totally backward, and I just don't. I know the Saudis are paying big money, and I know that's all it's about, money. And somebody's pockets are being lined in that county government. And it's just corruption. 100%. It's not about anything else but corruption. I wish that there was a agency that just investigated corruption in governments. But that agency couldn't be big enough because there's just so much of it. And it's in all forms of government. It's in your city governments, your towns, your villages, state government, your county governments. It's in the federal government. I mean, there's just so many bureaucracies. Those bureaucracies, it is so prevalent and crazily corrupt. it's just not enough to. I mean, couldn't hire enough investigators to investigate it all. There's just not. It's just impossible to do. Um, I mean, I don't know how you could get it all out of there. Um, I know the president's trying to by firing a lot of people, but it's not going to go away. It, sadly, it's there, and it's just going to stay. I wish there was a way to get rid of it, but that's just it's almost impossible. But yeah, these people, these governments that are buying all these tracts of land, and the worst part is the Chinese. The Chinese are buying all these tracts of land right by our bases, our military bases in this country, within the United States, within our borders. These Chinese are buying land right next door, literally bordering our military bases. Now, how insane is that? And we're allowing it to happen. So now they're setting up whatever spy equipment they want to do right next door to our military bases so they can just sit there and spy on our military. Stupidity is rampant, and it's not going away anytime soon. I wish there was something good to say about it. I really do. But it's just not there. It's just not there. Well, with that, I think I will sign off for this episode. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good week ahead of you. I hope that life is treating you right. Please, please, especially now that these damn terrorists are starting to rear their ugly heads and stuff, please watch your back. Know your surroundings. And just don't walk with your head down on your phone. Watch what's going on around you. Keep an eye out. It is getting dangerous, and it's going to continue to get dangerous, and it's going to get more dangerous as time goes on here. And we need to watch out for each other. You need to watch out for yourself, and watch your back and take care of yourself. And with that, please, just be safe. And God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. Please come back. I appreciate it. And with that, we'll talk to you soon. My name's Bob Benham, and you've been listening and watching Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. God bless the United States of America, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.